Hello everyone, welcome. Have you ever looked at your partner and wondered where the spark went? You know that feeling when everything seemed so effortless, when every touch, every word felt like it was part of an adventure you were both on. But now, somehow things feel different. Maybe you're still together, but the closeness, the passion, it's just not there the way it used to be. It's easy to feel like this is just the way things are supposed to be once time passes. But deep down, you know better. What if I told you that falling back in love with your spouse isn't just possible, but it's a journey that you can start today? And I'm not talking about grand gestures or waiting for some big life event to shake things up. No, the secret is in the little things, in how you show up for each other every single day. In this video, I'm going to take you on a journey back to that place of deep connection, where you're not just going through the motions, but living with intention, excitement, and love. Over the next 5 parts, we'll explore exactly how to rediscover your love, reconnect in meaningful ways, and rekindle that intimacy you may have thought was lost forever. So grab a cup of tea, find a quiet space, and get ready to rediscover the best parts of your relationship. Let's dive in. Let's start with something very real. Have you ever noticed how at the beginning of a relationship, it feels as if you and your spouse are on a high? Everything feels fresh, every touch is electric, and even the smallest gestures seem to mean the world. Over time, though, that magic can feel like it starts to fade. The routines settle in, the stress of life builds, and suddenly, you're not feeling as connected as you once did. We don't always mean for this to happen, but it does. The energy shifts, and you might find yourself thinking, when was the last time I felt that spark? Or perhaps, even worse, is it gone for good? Now I want you to take a deep breath and release that worry. The magic isn't gone, it's just been covered by layers of life, by busyness, by exhaustion, by the noise of everything that isn't you and your spouse. The key to falling back in love lies in peeling those layers back and taking the time to truly see each other again. Start with this simple but incredibly powerful thought: reconnection is a choice. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that love is something that either happens or fades away. But what if I told you that real love, the kind you're yearning for, is a daily practice? It's about showing up for each other with intention, with presence, and with an open heart. Let's dive deeper. When was the last time you really saw your spouse? Not just as the person sharing the same space, but as the individual you fell in love with. Life often distracts us from this simple act of seeing. We get caught up in who they are now, but we forget who they were when we first fell for them. Ask yourself, what were the little things that made you smile back then? Maybe it was the way they would laugh at your jokes, or how they would gently touch your arm when you spoke. The feeling of them truly listening to you, of being present in the moment. If you start noticing those little things again, you're beginning to see them in the same way you did before. This isn't about making a big gesture or doing something extraordinary. It's about being intentional in the small, everyday interactions that have always mattered. Every time you look at your spouse and choose to see them as your partner, rather than just someone sharing your day, you're reigniting the connection you once had. So, how do you start? Begin by making time for one another, real time. Not just the, okay, we're sitting together on the couch, but I'm on my phone kind of time. No, I mean real presence. Put down the distractions. When you speak to each other, make eye contact. Take a moment to ask how they really are. Notice their body language. You'd be amazed at how quickly this simple act can begin to transform the way you feel about each other. I know it sounds simple, but remember, love doesn't need grand moments. It thrives in the quiet, subtle spaces where we truly see each other for who we are. Let's move to the next step in this journey. Now that we've talked about how to see each other again, it's time to explore how we can begin to reconnect emotionally in a deeper way. The first step to doing this is about creating safety and trust. You need a space where vulnerability is not just allowed, but encouraged. Think about it. How often do we guard ourselves from our partners? We hold on to our fears, frustrations, and dreams, thinking we might burden them. But love grows where vulnerability thrives. So, how do we open up? Let's talk about that in the next part. Now that we've touched on the importance of truly seeing each other again, let's talk about something that's fundamental to rediscovering the intimacy you both crave: vulnerability. It's one of the most powerful, yet often overlooked tools in rekindling a relationship. Vulnerability is about more than just sharing your deepest fears or your most tender emotions. It's about creating a safe space where both of you can open up without fear of judgment, rejection, or defensiveness. You see, intimacy isn't just about physical closeness. Yes, physical touch is important, but the emotional closeness, feeling truly known by your partner, is what makes the foundation of your relationship stronger. Think about the moments when you've truly felt connected with your spouse. It's often when you're able to be real with one another, share those raw, unfiltered thoughts, and trust that your partner will be there, not just as a listener, but as someone who understands. But here's the catch. Vulnerability is a muscle that needs to be built. It's not something that happens overnight. We often carry emotional armor because we've been hurt, misunderstood, or even just exhausted by life. We close off pieces of ourselves, and before we know it, those pieces add up, creating walls that can feel impenetrable. How do we break down those walls? It starts with creating a space where vulnerability can exist. You have to consciously foster an environment where your spouse feels safe to open up. And I want you to remember, creating a safe space doesn't just mean not judging. It means actively listening, showing empathy, and responding with care and understanding. It means being present for your spouse, no matter what they share. Let's explore how to build that safety together. First, it's about timing. Don't force deep conversations when emotions are running high or when the energy between you is already strained. Pick the right moments, when you're both relaxed, when the environment is calm, and when you've carved out time to truly listen to one another. Set the stage by letting your partner know that what they say matters to you, that you're not here to fix them or make them feel less than, but to simply hear them. And when they speak, listen with empathy, not with the intent to respond or offer solutions. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is just be there, fully present, absorbing their words without rushing to provide advice. This act of deep listening says, I see you, and I'm here with you. Another powerful tool is acknowledging your own vulnerabilities. When you let your guard down, you set the example. Share something personal with your spouse, not just about your day, but about your dreams, your worries, your insecurities. When you do this, you invite them to meet you in the same space. It's about demonstrating that it's safe to be open, that your partner's emotions are valued just as much as your own. Now, I understand that vulnerability can be scary. Maybe you've been hurt in the past, or perhaps you fear that opening up will make things worse. But I want to remind you of something crucial. Vulnerability doesn't make you weak, it makes you real. And in the realness, you'll find deeper, more genuine connection. So here's your challenge for today. Take a small step towards vulnerability. It doesn't have to be a grand confession or a life-altering truth. Maybe it's something as simple as saying, I've been feeling stressed lately, and I just wanted you to know. Or maybe it's admitting that you miss the closeness you once shared. Start small. Test the waters. And as you do, you'll begin to see how much stronger your emotional bond becomes. But vulnerability alone won't solve everything. We also need to consider how to rebuild the romance in your relationship, the kind of romantic connection that goes beyond the routine. In the next part, we'll dive into how to reignite the sparks of affection, desire, and passion so that your relationship doesn't just feel like a partnership, but a passionate, evolving connection. Now that we've explored how to create a safe space for vulnerability and emotional connection, it's time to talk about something equally important, rekindling the romance and passion that might feel like it's slipped away. Romance doesn't just happen. It's not something that you can wait for or hope will magically return. No, romance is something you nurture, something you create together. And the truth is, it doesn't have to be grand gestures or extravagant vacations. Romance often thrives in the little, everyday moments that remind your partner how deeply you care for them. Think back to the early days of your relationship. What made you feel close? Was it the way they looked at you across the room? Maybe it was the way they always had a way of surprising you with little acts of affection or attention. What made your heart race then? Romance, just like love, isn't static. It ebbs and flows, and sometimes it can feel like it's lost, especially when life gets in the way. But even after years of being together, it's still possible to create that spark again. The key is in the intentionality behind your actions. One of the first ways to bring back the romance is through small surprises. It doesn't have to be a candlelit dinner or a weekend getaway, though those can be wonderful too. It's about showing your partner that you've thought about them in a way that's special, that they're on your mind when you're not with them. For instance, leave a note for them in their jacket pocket or on the bathroom mirror. It could be something simple. I'm thinking about you today. I love you more than you know. Small, sweet gestures like this can instantly create a sense of closeness and warmth. The beauty of these little acts is that they don't require much time or energy, yet they hold immense power in reinforcing the emotional and romantic bond between you. Let's talk about physical touch as well, because let's face it, romance is often about more than words. How often do you find yourself simply touching your partner for no reason other than to feel close? It could be holding hands while you're out for a walk, giving them a hug just because, or even just resting your hand on their back while you're cooking dinner together. These moments of physical connection, no matter how small, are the glue that keeps the passion alive. And here's something important. Don't let life's distractions take away these moments. When you pass by your spouse in the kitchen, take that extra moment to touch their arm. When you're sitting together on the couch, lean in a little closer. It's the kind of subtle touch that doesn't demand anything, but instead says, I'm here with you. I'm still with you. Another powerful way to reignite passion is to set aside time for each other. I know life is busy, especially when you have responsibilities and kids to manage. But you have to make time for the things that matter, namely your relationship. It could be as simple as having a regular date night, or spending an evening together after the kids go to bed, talking and laughing like you used to. It's important to get out of the just roommates routine. That's how the romantic connection can start to fade, because it feels more like a partnership than a relationship. If you really want to bring back the magic, you need to get back to being partners in love. Not just partners in life. But there's one more piece to this puzzle. Desire and passion are often fueled by newness. Over time, as we settle into our roles and routines, we can forget the excitement that comes from discovery, the excitement of learning something new about your partner, of experiencing something together for the first time. The feeling of anticipation is key to keeping desire alive. Now, I know that it's not always easy to bring back that sense of excitement, but I promise you it's possible. Try doing something new together, something neither of you has ever done before, whether it's taking a dance class, going on a spontaneous trip, or even cooking a new meal together. These experiences will create shared memories and bring you closer. And as you learn and discover together, your passion will naturally rekindle. Romance is about intention, presence, and connection. It's about making those small, consistent efforts to show your spouse that you see them, that you appreciate them, and that they still make your heart flutter. Now that we've covered the steps to bring back romance, let's move to the next important part of the journey, learning to manage conflict in a way that strengthens your bond instead of pulling you apart. Because let's face it, no relationship is without challenges. The key is knowing how to navigate those rough waters together. Let's talk about how to fight fair and grow stronger from it. By now, we've talked about how to see each other again, how to create safety and vulnerability, and how to reignite the romance and passion that may have faded over time. Now, let's dive into something that's often the most challenging part of any relationship. Conflict. It's inevitable. It's a part of every relationship, and it can either tear you apart or bring you closer together. The key is learning how to navigate conflict in a way that fosters growth, understanding, and ultimately a deeper connection. Here's a common truth. Conflict isn't the enemy. The way we handle conflict is, you see, when two people are deeply connected, emotionally, mentally, and physically, conflict can become a tool for deepening that connection. It can be an opportunity to learn more about each other, to understand each other's needs, and to grow stronger together. But only if you approach it with the right mindset. Many of us have grown up with certain ideas about conflict. Maybe you've seen your parents argue in ways that felt painful or destructive. Or perhaps you've had experiences where disagreements only led to silence or resentment. If this is what you've learned about conflict, it's easy to bring those patterns into your marriage. But here's the truth: arguing, when done with respect and care, can be one of the most powerful ways to reconnect. So, how do we fight fair? The first rule is this: never make it personal. When you're upset with your spouse, it's easy to fall into the trap of attacking their character. You might find yourself saying things like, "You never listen to me," or "You don't care about what I need." But here's the thing. When you attack their character, you're not just disagreeing with them. You're eroding the trust and safety you've worked so hard to build. Instead, focus on the issue at hand, not the person. Use I statements instead of you statements. For example, instead of saying, "You never listen to me," say, "I feel unheard when I'm speaking, and it makes me frustrated." This shift in language is incredibly powerful because it takes the blame away from your partner and focuses on your feelings, which makes it easier for them to listen without getting defensive. Remember, conflict isn't about winning. It's about understanding each other and finding common ground. Another important aspect of fighting fair is timing. It's crucial to approach disagreements when both of you are in the right mindset. If one of you is exhausted, stressed, or hungry, you're not in the best place to have a productive conversation. Make sure you pick a time when you can both be calm, collected, and ready to listen. And if you find that the conversation is getting too heated, it's okay to take a break. Walk away, breathe, and come back to the issue when you're both ready. Listening is perhaps the most important tool in conflict resolution. It's easy to think that your point of view is the only one that matters, but when you truly listen to your spouse, you're giving them the gift of being seen and heard. Listen with the intent to understand, not to respond. Let them express their thoughts fully before you offer your perspective. And when they speak, reflect back what you've heard. This helps create clarity and ensures you're not misinterpreting what's being said. Conflict, when handled with love, care, and respect, has the power to bring you closer. It can reveal new insights into your partner's thoughts and feelings, and when you handle it with intention, it can create an even stronger bond. The goal here isn't perfection, it's growth. Remember, every relationship will face its challenges, but it's how you navigate those challenges together that defines the strength of your love. And once you've navigated conflict in a healthy way, something magical happens. The more you practice resolving disagreements with empathy and understanding, the more emotionally resilient you become as a couple. You learn how to communicate more effectively, and you create a stronger foundation built on mutual respect and trust. This is what brings you closer, not just through the good times, but through the difficult ones as well. Now that we've tackled conflict, it's time to look at one more important piece of this puzzle, creating a shared vision for the future. When both of you are aligned on your goals and dreams, it can deepen the sense of partnership and commitment. We've come a long way on this journey together. We've discussed how to reconnect emotionally, ignite romance, navigate conflict, and now we arrive at the final piece of the puzzle. Creating a shared vision for the future. This is the foundation that not only sustains your love, but propels it forward. You see, love is not just about looking at each other. It's about looking together in the same direction. Think about the early days of your relationship. You probably spent hours talking about your dreams and goals, envisioning a life together, the excitement, the anticipation of what the future might hold. Over time, however, life tends to take over. You get caught up in the routines of daily life, work, responsibilities, maybe even raising children, and the dreams you once shared can start to feel distant, as though they've been replaced with the grind of simply surviving the day. But here's the thing, when you stop dreaming together, you stop growing together, your relationship becomes about the now, but without a future to look forward to, you can easily fall into a cycle of complacency. That's why having a shared vision is so powerful. It keeps the excitement alive, even after years of being together. It helps you both feel like you're part of something bigger, something that's constantly evolving. Creating a shared vision isn't just about big goals like buying a house or going on a world tour, though those are wonderful too. It's about aligning your values, your ambitions, and your purpose as a couple. It's about discussing what you both want out of life, not just individually, but as a team. Let's start with values. What truly matters to both of you? Maybe you both value family deeply, or perhaps you share a passion for personal growth and self-improvement. When you align your values, you create a sense of unity that goes beyond surface-level agreements. You understand each other's priorities, and that understanding can guide your decisions and actions as a couple. For example, if you both prioritize family time, you can create a shared vision that ensures you always carve out moments for each other, no matter how busy life gets. If personal growth is important, then perhaps it's about setting goals to support each other in developing new skills or pursuing passions. The key is that your goals and visions are intertwined, not separate. Next, think about the kind of future you want to create. It could be about your career ambitions, the lifestyle you both want, or the way you want to raise your children. It's about building a life that reflects your shared values and dreams. Talk openly about where you see yourselves in 5, 10, or even 20 years. What do you want to experience together? What legacy do you want to create as a couple? Here's a simple exercise. Sit down with your spouse and dream together. No limits, no judgment, just pure possibility. Share your hopes for the future and listen to theirs. As you do, find the common threads. What excites you both? What makes you feel inspired? This shared vision doesn't have to be fully mapped out, but it's important to know that you're working towards something together. It gives your relationship a sense of purpose and a direction to head in. But this vision isn't static. It evolves. Just like your relationship, your shared vision will grow and shift as you both do. As you accomplish goals, you'll add new dreams to the list. As life throws challenges your way, you'll adapt together. The beauty of a shared vision is that it can be flexible. It's a living, breathing part of your relationship. And as you build this vision, remember that you're not just planning for a future. You're investing in your relationship. Every conversation about your goals, every moment spent aligning your dreams, strengthens the bond between you. You're not just planning what you'll do, you're planning how you'll do it together. So, what can you do right now to start building your shared vision? It's simple. Start talking. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Start today. Ask your spouse what they envision for the future. Share your own thoughts, and then begin to map out the steps you'll take together to make those dreams a reality. As we wrap up, I want to remind you of something incredibly important. The journey of love isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's about choosing each other every single day and making the conscious decision to build something meaningful, something lasting. And the beauty of it is, no matter where you are in your relationship right now, you can always choose to reconnect, to rekindle the romance, to navigate conflict with care, and to dream together. Remember, love isn't just a feeling, it's a practice. It's something you nurture, something you build, and something you invest in. And when you do that, you not only fall back in love with your spouse, you create a love that grows stronger with each passing year. Thank you for joining me on this journey. I hope these words have inspired you to take action, to reignite the spark in your relationship, and to build a future together. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What steps are you taking to reconnect with your spouse? share in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos that will help you nurture the most important relationships in your life. Here's to love that never fades but only deepens.